Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a big birthday shout out to Anna Gunn O'Connor, whose partner James has told us it's your birthday, Anna. So very happy birthday to you. Get stuck into the cake as appropriate and enjoy the video. Now, absolutely fascinating puzzle. This came to us a little while ago. In fact, it was sent to us in time to use when we passed 500,000 subscribers, but we had other puzzles that we were celebrating with on that day, and it has been recommended that we come back to this because it's quite interesting. So thank you to Wombat Breath, who has brilliantly, I love the name, and has appeared on the channel a few times before, often commemorating things, which is excellent. And we'll have a look at that puzzle in a minute. But this comes to you just as we are live streaming tonight. Do watch the live stream first and then come back to this video. That's fine. You still remain among my favorite people. And that's going to be us solving appropriately the 500k pack that we made available to you. So this is kind of an extra bonus, this one. Now, what else is going on? Well, there will be more collaborative solving on Patreon. And also we have, well, we've got the Skunkworks Duality Pack coming out on the 1st of October. Also, we have announced that we are going to be trying to put together another book, and we'll be launching a Kickstarter for that very soon. So if you're interested in a Cracking the Cryptic book, the first one was the greatest hits. This one is kind of the greatest hits since the greatest hits, and that long may that go on as an idea. But there will be some of the best puzzles that there have been on the channel since the deadline for the first book. Loads going on. I mean, there's also all the stuff going on Discord all the time. You can look at our merchandise and our apps and get the 500k puzzles that we'll be solving on the live stream just by going to the link for the apps and downloading the CTC app. The 500k pack is free. The Domino pack is paid. I mean, there's loads you can do. And if you're in the UK, yeah, you might find it's still, no, I think it's still based on sterling, even though sterling has fallen against the dollar. I don't think the price of the pack has changed, sorry. Anyway, let's have a look at the rules of Significant Product by Wombat Breath, which obviously just comes after all my product placement. Good. Anyway, this is a 10 by 10 puzzle, so don't be going with your 1 to 9s here. Place 0 to 9 in each row, column and region, and luckily our software does support zeros. The 4 shaded 3 by 3 corner areas are magic squares. The 4 and magic square definition in this case is that each row, each 3-cell row, column and diagonal must add up to the same number. That's not written in the rules when you call the puzzle up, so we're hoping you know what a magic square is. The 4 cages totals, these are the sort of pentomino shaped cages, their totals must be determined and their product must be 500,000. So if you multiply the totals of each of those 4 cages together, you get 500,000, 500,000. A V between cells indicates their values sum to 5, and an X that their values sum to 10, but not all V's and X's are given. Right, I mean, that's really interesting. We've had puzzles that mentioned the 500,000. We've had puzzles that used the digits of 500 or 500,000. But we have not had any puzzles that use the numeric value 500,000. So that's really interesting. And Wombat Breath has come up with it. And it's up to us to solve it. So do give it a try on the first link under the video. I am going to start, well, I'm going to restart my clock. And let's get cracking. Now, this magic square thing, this is very, very interesting. Because normally we see a magic square, and I might even sometimes have forgotten to explain it. I whack a 5 in the middle of the magic square, work out that the numbers around it include odd numbers touching the 5 and even numbers in the corners, and merrily continue on my way. This is not going to work here. If you put 5 in the middle of those magic squares, they're going to clash in those rows and columns. So we're going to have to use the fact that we've got 0 to 9 to work out what is going on with magic squares. And what I'm thinking is that the center is going to be 5 or 4. But I'm going to have to try and explain why my brain has jumped to that conclusion. Okay, the total of the digits. Sometimes we share a secret with you that the total of the digits from 1 to 9, and therefore the total of every row, column and box in a normal Sudoku is 45. And that is true. The total of every row, column and region in this Sudoku is incredibly still 45, because we're only adding a 0 in. But the total of the 9 squares in one of the 9 cells in one of these magic squares does not have to be 45, because there is one cell left out of each of them. And that cell could be anything from a 0 to a 9. So the total of these magic squares is somewhere between 45 and 36. And I say somewhere between when I actually believe that it's going to be one of those. So how do we deduce what the possible things are? We work out that for every row and column to add up to the same number, obviously we know that if this is a 0, we've got the regular numbers 1 to 9. We can put a 5 in them. Well, every row then adds up to 15. The only digit that you can combine in 4 different ways to make up the 15 is 5, and that's why that goes in the middle. Now, I think that 36 is the other possible total. Why couldn't it be 39 or 42? Could you have 13 or 14 as row, column and diagonal totals? And if not, why not? Given that we've got the numbers 0 to 9 available, there must be a reason why that's true. I mean, what I'm actually thinking about the magic square is there is a given magic square. Now, I'm just going to write it in the middle here. It is 5 with pairs that make 10 around it. As I said, the odds are around one side. So let's just fill it in one way. We'd need the 2 there, 4 there. So the magic square of digits 1 to 9 looks like this. You could rotate it, you could reflect it. There are various permutations of it, but they're all basically this. And what I think you're going to get with 4 is 4 in the middle and all the other digits reduced by 1. And I'm trying to work out how to explain why that is the only other possible magic square, if indeed it is. And I think it is, but why is that? Yeah, this is my brain trying to catch up with my instinct and struggling quite badly. Yeah, effectively, if you take a single 1, right, in the classic magic square with the 5 in the middle, all the rows add up to 15. If you take 1 out of those rows, you can't just remove number 1 out of the sequence of 1 to 9, or you'd be left with 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you took 3 out, basically the numbers are kind of going to bump into other possible numbers and include repeat numbers unless you reduce everything by the same number. So if you reduce all of the digits from 1 to 9 by 1, you get the digits from 0 to 8, and that can make a magic square. And that will have a 4 in it, because it will be exact, as I showed, it'll be exactly like the original magic square, but every number reduced by 1. And so the middle number will go down from 5 to 4 in the reduced magic square. And again, you can have the permutations, the reflections, the rotations, the mirror images, but what you're always going to have is a 3 by 3 adding up to 36 or 45. And that means these outies, these cells that aren't in there, are going to be 0 or 9 in each case. In fact, 2 of them are going to be 0 and 2 of them are going to be 9s, because 2 of these are going to have to be 4s and 2 of them are going to have to be 5s by Sudoku rules. And what I have been neglecting for a long time, and I'm going to finally have to think about, is this product, 500,000. How are we going to make the 4 cages multiply up to give 500,000? And the most important thing about that product is its prime factors. And there's a whole bunch of, so that is 5 times 10 5 times. And every time you multiply it by 10, there's going to be another 5 in the calculation. So these are the prime factors, 5 2s and 6 5s, which gives you 5 times 10 gets you to 50, times 10 gets you to 500, times 10 gets you to 5,000, times 10 gets you to 50,000, times 10 gets you to 500,000. So these 4 little cages are going to have to come up with numbers that include all those prime factors. Well, that means that some of them are going to have repeat 5s. And since if you have 2 repeat 5s, you can't add in one of the 2s because you'll get to a total of 50, and we can't get to that in 5 cells or even 9 cells of different digits. Though there will be a 25 in one cage, and there will be 25 in another cage, because at least 2 of them have to have repeat digits. Now, we're left with these prime factors, and I was at first thinking that we'd make one of the cages 20, one of the remaining cages 20, and the other one then, but the other one would have to be 40, and you can't get to 40 in 5 digits. So that's not going to work. So it's got to be another 25 and a 32 to use all the 2s. Good grief. I can't write 32 in a cell because it will come out as 2, 3. But we're going to need 3 lots of 25 and one that is 32. Right, the one that is 32. Oh, there's an X pentomino. Okay, the first thing I was going to say, the one that is 32 cannot be in a magic square with a 4 in the middle, because the digits in that magic square only add up to 36. So the 4 numbers that were outside the magic square would have to add up to 4, and even allowing for them to include a 0, that's ridiculous. That's not going to work. So the 32 is going to be in a 5-centered magic square. Now this one's interesting as well. This, in the 5-centered magic square, the orthogonally touching digits of the 5 are all odd. And I can just briefly explain why that is, in case you're unaware. You get 5 in the middle because it's the only number that goes with 4 combos to make 15. Then you think about where 9 goes. The corners of a magic square, let me just make a magic square here. The corners of a magic square have their digit in 3 different groups that add up to 15, but 9 can only be in 2 groups that add up to 15. Therefore, it must go in one of these cells so that it only has to be in 2 groups that add up to 15. So 9, for instance, could be there. Then it has to be opposite 1. Now the 9 is going to have to be flanked. Well, all of these numbers are going to have to be flanked by either 2 odd digits to remain as an odd total going across, or 2 even digits. The only odd digits remaining are 3 and 7, and if they're going together, they're going to have to be opposite the 5. So basically, the 5 will always have odd digits around it. And if we reduce everything by 1, the 4 that might be in the center of some of these cells will always have to have even digits around it. So that's the theory. And now if this was a 5, these odd digits would all add up to 25. So it's quite likely that is a 5. If this was a 4, it would be surrounded by digits that would be 0, 2, 6 and 8 and would add up to 20. And that is not one of our 4 totals that we came up with. We need a cage of 25. Well, you need 3 cages of 25 and one of 32. We don't need any of 20, so that is a 5. And that's going to position our centers of these magic squares. Oh, we can give the outies as well. They must be 9s in the case of magic squares with a center of 4 that add up to 36, and 0s in the regular ones. This 5 is obviously surrounded by the odd digits. I mean, that's fatuously clear. In fact, that is the same down here. So I can't really use this cage for determining positioning, but I think I can use this one. Now, we also worked, so that's one of the 25s. I think I said also that the 4s are going to have to be the other 25s because they can't reach a value of 32. So this 5 cage is going to have to be the 32 one. And that means these 4 digits are going to have to add up to 13. 3 of them are even. They're going to be 6, 4, 2. The other one is odd. That's going to be a 1. And that's how we do it. So that is a 2, 4, 6 triple. That's an 8. This magic square needs this to be a 9. There's a 3, 7 pair here. 8 plus 1 is 9 plus 6. Then we can't have a 3 here, or we'd have to have a repeat 6. So we have 7, 2, 3, 4. And there's one of the magic squares done. Now, these other F pentominos here and here are going to have to add up to 25. We've done the 32 cage. These are going to be 25 cages. Right, so let's do the same sort of thing. They are surrounded by 0, 2, 6 and 8, 3 of which are in the cage. And we're aiming for 25. Oh, bother. No, that's okay. If we have 8 and 6 in the cage. Oh no, we get 3 of them, sorry. 4 and 6 and 2. If we didn't have 8 in the... Oh, hang on, let's use Sudoku. That 8 sees that cell. 6 and 2 see that one. These ones are going to have to add up to 12 across the middle. So it's going to be a 0, 4, 8 combination. That's a 0. Wow, okay, there we go. Now that's 2 and 6. Now these add up to 20, and that must be a 5 to make up the total. Can we do the same here? I don't know. Let's put in 0, 2, 6, 8. That one can't be an 8. This one can't be a 2 this time. It's not quite so clear cut, actually. Okay, I'll come back to that. Let's finish off this one. We've got totals of 12, so that's a 7. This can't be 6, 3, 1, 6. And all those 12s work. Yes, this is the magic square. And as you can see, it is basically a reduction by 1 of this magic square rotated 180 degrees. Anyway, okay, let's use these numbers across here. That can't be 3 or 7. So this is a 1, 9 pair, making 15. In fact, that must be the 9. That must be the 1. We can't have 2 up here. So that's 8, 1, 6 makes 15. These are... Oh, I don't think we can resolve which way around these go. Oh, hang on. This can't be 0 or 6 or 8. I don't know why I only saw the 8. Right, that's a 2. Okay, so for the magic square, adding up to 12, that's a 6. These can't be 2 and 6. There's 0 and 8. Now, in the cage, which has to add up to 25, we've got 18 this time. So that's a 7. Ah, that's going to fix this cage. That's lovely, isn't it? So 7 can't go with 8 up there. 4, 2. And that magic square's all right. That's fixed 0 and 8. And down here we get... We're going for 12 this time. I nearly went wrong there. And those are the magic squares. So we've obeyed the magic squares. We've obeyed the product. We just have an irregular Sudoku with some XVs left to do. That's all. That's so clever, though. That's really interesting, actually. Right, this pair, we've got 0, 4, and 5 in this column. So that pair's a 0, 5 pair. This pair, we've got 0, 3, 7, and 8 in this column. So it's 3 and 7 out of those that add to 10. This can't be 0 because there's already a 0 in the region. Is it worth writing 1, 2, 6, 9 in there? I'm never afraid to pencil mark is the answer to that. Right, across here, 4, 5, and 9. Well, I was going to say we can't have a 5 on a V, but in this puzzle, with a 0, you could, theoretically. But in practice, you can't because there's a 0 there. So that's a 4 with a 1 there. Then in this row, we've got 2, 6, and 9 to go. In this row, 0, 3, 7, and 8. I'm going to carry on just pencil marking the possibilities because I think it'll probably help with the irregular Sudoku in a moment. 0, 4, 5, 9 here. Ah, it actually helps straight away. 0, 4, 5, 9 are there. They're all in this cage, this region. So those can't have a 0, and the 0 in this column is there. So now we've got 0, 4, 5, 9, 3, 7, 8. The other cells are 1, 2, and 6. I could have used the law of leftovers, which says that those two cells sticking into columns 1, 2, and 3 have to be the same as those two cells. So that is the same as that, but I didn't think of it in time. That's a 3, 7, 8. This is 1, 2, 6, 9. Let's see if we can do the same sort of thing here. Yes, we can. 0, 4, 5, 9 includes a 9. So those can't include a 9, and the 9 in the row goes there. Now we've got 0, 4, 5, 9, 1, 2, 6. This is from 3, 7, and 8. Now we can use the X. Could probably have done this before. It's 3 and 7. The 3 must be on the V with a 2. That's an 8 because we've got a 7 in the cage now, or in the region. Those aren't 2s. These, yes, these retain their 0, 4, 5, 9-ness. Right, so 1, 2, 6, 9, 8, 3, 7, 0, 5, that's a 4. Now what? Right, maybe this V, yes, look, it can't be 0, 5 because that cell would be impossible to fill. It can't be 1, 4 because of that, so it's a 2, 3 pair. If that's really the last help I need to finish the irregular Sudoku, it could be a very tough solve from here, but there we go. That can't be a 2 either. That 2, 3 pair sees both of these cells, one in the row and one in the region. So the 2 in this column has to be there. That's not 2. Okay. Can I use it anymore? Yes. This can't be 3 or 7, so it's 8. This can't be 4. This can't be 2. Oh, I was hoping the row would keep delivering. That 7 has sorted out the 3, 7 pair. There's going to be a lot of stuff here that you see before I do. Just bear with me till I get there. That can't be 3 or 7. That can't be 0. Now it's going to be these funky shaped cages. Right, 9, 7, 2, 3, 0. So the other cells are 1, 6, 4, 5, and 8 in this region. Are any of those giveaway? It doesn't look like it. Not to me. So 4 could be in either of those places. 8 could be in either of those. Oh, that is naked. 0, 4, 9. Looking at it, that's a 5. That's got a 0 and a 9. Looking at it, that's a 4. Now there's a 0 X-wing. Interesting. Probably doesn't do anything. Now I can place 4 in this squiggly cage. It's got to be there. That stops that being a 4. That's all it does there. Oh, that can't be a 4. So the 4 in this top row could be the last 4 in the grid. Not 100% sure, but I'm putting it in. So we've got 1, 6, 5 and 8 to place. The 5 has to be here. That's 1 or 6, so we can place the 8, and that's a 1, 6 pair, both looking at that cell. Don't know what that means. Not even going to try and work it out. We'll get back to it. Right, this row, we've got 1, 2 and 6 to place. Don't know much about it either. 7, 2, 4, 8. I keep coming back to this row. 2, 3, 4, so 4, 5, 9, 3. Wow. Oh, this is either 6 or 8. It sees everything else in the row or column. Okay, this is a bit tricky to finish off. When I talk about finishing it off, I mean, we could still have literally, we might be only halfway through the video here is what I'm thinking at the moment. Because this is never easy to get a grip on. Right, let's look at this other squiggly cage, because the other one was useful. 0 and 4 in it. Right, we need a 7 in it somewhere. I think that's got to be here. 0, 4 and 7. What else is suddenly going to pop out? We need a 2 in one of the positions in column 7. Well, we need 0, 4, 7, 2, 3 and 1 all have to be in this column. Well, that's really interesting. If 2, 3 and 1 are in this cage, in this region, in this column, then they're not here or here. So that's not got a 3 in it. And this can't be a 1 and must be a 6. That 1 gives me the 6 and the 1 in the other squiggly cage. That fixes 6 and 1. This can't be a 1. In fact, those can't be 6s. That can't be a 3. This, no, I don't know. Oh, look, I've got a 5, 9 pair. Right, that's really useful. This can't be 1, 2 or 3. So these are a 1, 2, 3 triple, because they have to be fitted into this column and this cage, and that must be 2. Must be. This is a 1, 3 pair, in they go like that, and that is really quite helpful. Well, I mean incredibly helpful, frankly. I probably am going to be able to finish off fairly well now. 7 sees that 8. That gets the bottom row done. 5, 9 pair remaining. That was very useful. 2, 3, 7, 4. So in this squiggly cage, 0, 1, 4, 3, 7, 2, 5, 6, 8 and 9 to place. That's the only place for 8. That's the only place for 6, and 5 and 9, never mind, I'll get to you. 9 there, 6 there, 2 here, that fixes 3 and 2. This has become a 6, that's a 9, 5 and 9, 5, 9, 0, 0, 9 over this side, 0, 5 over this side, and a 5 to finish. And I think that is the solution to significant product. That was extraordinary, because I looked at that at first and went, how do you get anything done in this puzzle at all? But it's basically laid out for you. That's really clever. Needed to do a bit of maths with factors there and think about the nature of 500,000, a huge number that it is. We managed to get there just by multiplying up 4 cages. And we also got to think a little bit about the nature of magic squares, which is quite interesting. I suspect my explanation at the beginning about how magic squares had to have a 5 or a 4 in the middle and had to add up to either 36 or 45 is a bit wanting, but feel free to post something a bit clearer. I know it's right, I'm just not sure how to articulate it. So mathematicians, do chip in and help out. I'd be very grateful. Anyway, thank you very much for watching as always. I hope to see you again soon on the channel, probably gas tomorrow I would think. And do catch up on the stream if you haven't seen it. Bye for now.